everybody. As you can see, it's going to be a little different today. I think I've been saying that for the last 6 weeks. It's different every week. I want to let you know why the lights are down a little bit today. It's a little dark in the room because our two 30-ton air conditioning units have lived their last leg. So they're not working today, so we're keeping the lights down to keep the heat down because there may be a lot of hot air in the room today. Are you laughing at me? We are delighted to have each and every one of you here. It's a very, very special day. Today we are celebrating bridge building. The difference of different communities, different people, different traditions, different belief systems coming together in an outward sign that a bridge can be built, that harmony and oneness are at the foundation of all of our belief systems. And so we begin by lighting a candle that has been lit throughout this entire weekend, as our Baha'i brothers and sisters have been with us, remembering the truth of the one light that exists in their tradition, being acknowledged within our tradition, and together acknowledging that one light that exists in all traditions. As we light that candle, I'm going to invite a few of our friends to come up and to join us in a chant, a Baha'i chant, a Baha'i prayer, and then I will take it and put a unity spin on it. So I'd like to invite Farhad to come forward. Julie, do you have a microphone for Farhad? Oh, he can use this one up here. Farhad has been chanting the entire weekend and offering his spirit and his heart. And these beautiful words are in Persian, and they'll be interpreted by my friend Iraj.
ملكا مقصودا به چه لسان تو را شکر نمایم غافل بودن آگاهم فرمودی معرض بودم بر اقبال تایید نمودی مرده بودم از آب حیات زندگی داشتی پژمرده بودم از کوثر بیان که از قلم رحمان جاری شده تازگی عطا کردی پروردگارا وجود کل از جودت موجود از بحر کرمت محروم مفرما و از ایام رحمتت مکن در هر حال توفیق و تأیید می طلبم و از سماع فضل بخشش قدیمت را سائلم تویی مالک عطا و سلطان ملکوت دار
I'd like to invite, as I affectionately say, my partner in crime, but my partner in the bridge building, the Iraj Federalist. Farhad, that is beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Good morning.
We had not coordinated, so except for Persians who would realize, the others would probably want, that this is not a translation of what he chanted. But this is the language of Baha'u'llah, the founder of the Baha'i faith, who was in exile or incarceration for the entire period of his revelation from 1852 until 1892, when he passed away in Accra, Israel. And this work is the shortest work, about 100 volumes of his work, which is called The Hidden Words of Baha'u'llah. You'll find it there. He calls it the essence and the summary of all the teachings of all religions of the world. So if you're not going to spend $200, you can spend $2 and get the essence of all the teachings. One short passage, and then one final passage. He says, referring to God and man, "Thou art my lamp, thou art my lamp, and my light is in thee. Get thou from it its radiance, and seek none other than me. For I have created thee rich, and have bountifully shed my favor upon thee." That light of God is in all of us. He's part of us. We need nothing but that light. So there's only 150 passages. It says the essence of the teaching of all religions. And if that wasn't enough, if you're not going to read all of those, there's one summary at the end of this book, which is really the essence of all the teachings of all the religions of the world. So I hope you all pay attention. Be generous in prosperity and thankful in adversity. Be worthy of the trust of thy neighbor, and look upon him with a bright and friendly face. Be a treasure to the poor, an admonisher to the rich, an answerer of the cry of the needy, a preserver of the sanctity of thy pledge. Be fair in thy judgment and guarded in thy speech. Be unjust to no man, and show all meekness to all men. Be as a lamp unto them that walk in darkness, a joy to the sorrowful, a sea for the thirsty, a haven for the distressed, an upholder and defender of the victims of oppression. Let integrity and uprightness distinguish all thine acts. Be a home for the stranger, a balm to the suffering, a tower of strength for the fugitive, a tower of strength for the fugitive. Be eyes to the blind, and a guiding light under the feet of the erring. Be an ornament to the countenance of truth, a crown to the brow of fidelity, a pillar of the temple of righteousness, a breath of life to the body of mankind. A breath of life to the body of mankind. An ensign of the host of justice, a luminary above the horizon of virtue, a dew to the soil of the human heart, an ark on the ocean of knowledge, a sun in the heaven of bounty, a gem on the diadem of wisdom, a shining light in the firmament of thy generation, a fruit upon the tree of humility, a fruit upon the tree of humility.
So I invite each and every one of you. Are those ideas, are those principles, are those tenets that we can find agreement on? Are those ideas that when we live them fully and completely, That we believe with all our heart and our mind and our soul that the world will be a little bit closer to the heaven on earth that we see. Yes?
Yes.
That's what we're asking you to buy into today. I thank you, my friend, for the beautiful words. I thank you for the scriptures, the prayers, and the wonderful work that's been happening. Please come on in. We want to welcome anybody who's here, and there's a lot of you today. The ushers came to me and said, we only have 18 flowers, and there appears to be 100 new people in the room today. So please accept our IOU for a flower. The ushers are going to come forward. We want to welcome anybody who's here for the very first time today, and we want you to know that whoever you are, and wherever you may be on your spiritual path, you are welcome here. You are welcome here, but more importantly, you are welcome here. We invite you into our heart with grateful thanks for the light of the world that you are, and for the gift that you have brought into this space here today. As our lights join, the world will only be a brighter place. And so we'd like to get that packet to you, and we've asked if you are here for the very first time, to just put your hand up really high in the air so the ushers can find you, and the rest of us are going to give you a thunderous round of applause. Put those hands up really high. We miss some people. Over here, we'll find you. We will find you, I guess. The presence of God will always find you if you keep your hand raised. Over here as well, welcome. We are grateful that you are here. Keep your hands up, because the ushers, we don't usually have this many visitors. And what blessed treat it is. We want you to know that here in this community we teach that there are many paths to the one God. We understand that we're all on the same mountain on a different path, but we're all climbing the same mountain, getting to the same apex, and we welcome you into that. If you have any questions about your experience today, our New Beginnings team would love to answer those questions in the back of the room next to the kiosk there in the welcome table. Thank you so much for being here. We have a very special treat now. Tell us about it, Julie.
We do. We have, and the kids can start coming up. We have had the pleasure of hosting our Baha'i Friends this weekend, and part of that is the children. And they were here yesterday with us all day, and they have a couple of special songs that they're going to do. Come on, guys. And we invited some of our unity kids. Marilyn Boniver, our preschool teacher, was with them all day, and she's going to tell you a little bit about the experience as our preschool kids come on up, and any of our unity kids, while I get the mic set up.
Thank you, Julie. As you know, Julie is my best production. I had the most awesome experience yesterday, being with these Unity children. Such a love. I'm with Unity children every Sunday. I'm sorry. I feel like they're Unity children. They are just as wonderful and as loving as our children are. They, you know, as anytime that we're with children, we learn more from them than we could ever teach them. One of the things I learned is how to make a bracelet from rubber bands. That's awesome. We played games. One of the older Baha'i children said, why don't we play this game that has something to do with virtue? And I said, well, you know, virtue, that's kind of a hard concept for the younger children. And this child, the little one said, we're all Baha'i. We talk about virtue all the time. And then the last thing I want to tell you is, this just touched my heart so much. We read them a story about how to fill up your bucket with love and how people take out of your bucket when they're not loving. And just before lunch, one of the Baha'i children came to me, threw his arms around me and said, Miss Marilyn, I love you. I want to fill up your bucket. So thank you for allowing me to teach your children.
So yes, we're out of the mouths of babes, right? we need to treat each other that way. Are you guys ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Wow. So the very first thing that they're going to do is chant. We heard an adult chant a Baha'i prayer. They are going to sing us one of their Baha'i prayers. You guys ready? Go ahead. Start us off, Samantha.
We are driving.
No, we're going to do the prayer, the education of children. Yeah.
Oh God, educate these children. These children are the plants of thy orchard, the flowers of thy meadow, the roses of thy garden. Let thy rain fall upon them. Let the sun of reality shine upon them with thy love. Let thy breeze refresh them in order that they may be trained, grow and develop and appear in the utmost beauty. Thou art the giver, thou art the compassionate.
Thank you. If we lived by those virtues every day, we would have a peaceful world. And you may have noticed we have a couple of our Unity children that have joined them, and we thought that would be a really great way to show our unity. And so now they're going to do a song called We Are Drops in One Ocean, which affirms that we are drops that are connected, and together we make the ocean of love. They're getting their props ready, so just hang tight. And Samantha, this is her first time on the microphone, and she does an amazing job. So send her some love. All right, I'm going to cue you guys to come in. Go ahead, band. Let's take it away. Watch me. We are drops.
We are drops of one.
Nice and loud.
Of one. We are leaves. We are leaves.
Tree. Come and join us
Join us.
on our
Quest for unity is a way of life for you and me.
We are flowers.
We are flowers of one garden, of one garden. We are leaves. We are leaves of one tree, of one tree. Come and join us. Come and join us in our quest for unity. It's a way of life for you and me.
All the earth.
All the earth is one country, is one country, man is one, man is one. Can't you see? Can't you see? Come and join us, come and join us in our quest for unity. It's our way of life for you and me.
Come on, Unity. Bye-bye, choir. Give it up for Samantha. Okay, so any of the children that want to come down and experience our Sunday school, if the parents could take them down and sign them in, and then come on back up for a wonderful panel discussion. Thank you, everyone. Good job.
You know, they say don't ever share the platform with children or have to follow the children when they sing. Thank God I don't have to sing after that. But we have some wonderful guests. Harold Edwards has been part of the committee that put this together, this whole weekend event. He has become a brother and a partner. And he says, you know what, my son and my granddaughter, they sing. And they would love, what's that? Son-in-law. Oh, we're all sons and daughters, yeah? Son-in-law and granddaughter sing. We thought it would be nice to have them. So I've forgotten your granddaughter's name.
Victoria.
Victoria and David. Will you please give them a warm welcome?
She's on 23, Michael. Is that okay? All right, go ahead.
Good morning. We'd like to do a song that was originally written and recorded by a couple of Baha'is in the late 70s. It's called Love is the Answer. Now, most of you look like you probably wouldn't be old enough to remember that. However, If you do and you remember this song, please feel free to join in with us. Here we go.
Name your price, a ticket to paradise. I can't stay here anymore, and I've searched high and low, and I've been from shore to shore to shore. If there's a shortcut, I'd have found it, but there's no easy way around it. Light of the world, shine on me. Love is the answer. Shine on us all, set us free. Love is the answer. Light of the world, shine on me. Love is the answer. Shine on us all, set us free. Love is the answer. Who knows why someday we all must die? We're all homeless boys and girls, and we are never hurt. It's such a lonely, lonely, lonely world. People turn their heads and walk on by. Tell me, is it worth just another try? Light of the world, shine on me. Love is the answer. Love is the answer. Shine on us all, set us free. Love is the answer. Ooh, light of the world, shine on me. Love is the answer. Ooh, shine on us all, set us free. Love is the answer.
Tell me, are we alive or just a dying planet?
What are the chances?
Ask someday in your heart for the answer. When you feel afraid
Love one another,
and you lost your way
love one another,
and you're down and out
love one another,
and your hopes run out
love one another,
and you need faith
love one another.
and you're near the end. Love, we got to love one another. Light up the world.
Shine on me, love is the answer. Yeah. Shine on us all and set us free. Love is the answer.
Can you sing that with us? Light of the world.
Light of the world, shine on me. Love is the answer. You sound so beautiful. And shine on us all and set us free. Love is the answer. Light of the world, shine on me. Love is the answer. Love is the answer. Shine on us all, set us free. Love is the answer. Light of the world, shine on me. Love is the answer. Shine on me. Shine on
You know what they say? Don't ever have to follow children. Now they're going to say, don't ever have to follow Victoria and David. Man, that was beautiful. Thank you for opening your hearts and sharing your talents and your spirits. You know, we've been all weekend knowing that love is the answer. Coming together as brothers and sisters, new friends and old friends. Remember that simple basic truth. So many times in our religious belief systems, don't we overcomplicate it? When you boil it down to its root, its foundation, love, love, love is the answer. For those who love, who find the power of love, I went to the Hebrew scriptures, the Torah, to find a premise for the talk today, the message. It's a short message because I'm going to have a panel up here. But before I invite my new friends up to the platform, I wanted to give a foundation for a beautiful house that's been built this weekend. This is the scripture that I chose for that foundation. I invite you to say it with me. And your ancient ruins shall be rebuilt, and you shall raise up the foundations of many generations, and you shall be called repairer of the breach. I don't know about you, but this week, this year, for quite some time, I have found myself humanly going to a place of what I would say would be depression, the state of our world, the state of our humanity, the state of our country. This week, I will just say that I felt broken, looking at the state of what was happening on a very public arena that never should have been that public. We should have done our due diligence to find love first and act from a place of love and not partisanship. And there's a great gap. Isn't there a great gap that exists? Certainly it's easy to see politically. We run to our polar positions. Over here, I'm right, you're wrong, I'm right, you're wrong. And we forget that we are creating a beautiful gap that is tearing down the very fabric of our common humanity. Our running of polar positions religiously, it says, I have the answer, you don't have the answer, is tearing apart the very fabric of our common existence as brothers and sisters in the light of God. Yet we will be, if we find each other, a light of the world that says, I will be the repairer of the breach. And if I can hold fast and diligent to a truth that is calling for expression within me, and that truth is as simple as love is the answer. We may not agree, but love will be the answer. Love will be the bridge. And when I can be that energy and be that light, I will raise up foundations of many generations. And I believe it is possible because we are not contained in time or space. That by being the living example of love, we are reaching into the future to create a better world for our children and our grandchildren. But we are also the healers of our past. Let's make no mistake about it. We don't dance around the fact that our history is dotted with a lot of chasm making, a lot of gap making, a lot of duality and division. And we stand as believers in a new possibility, a greater possibility, a greater love and a greater healing as a bridge between the future and the past. And there is nothing easy about that, is it? It is hard work, and guess what? Your arms can get awfully tired standing here. But my arms are much less tired when I can reach and join hands with a Baha'i friend, a Christian friend, a Muslim friend, a Jewish, a Hindu, a Buddhist friend, and we are leaning on each other as a bridge of understanding, as a bridge of possibility. You feel it? I want to hear it. We are called as students and practitioners of oneness to live in that arena as that bridge more than ever in the history of the United States and more in the history of our humanity. And we sit here today as people who said something is important and it's happening in me, through me, around me, and as me. And it is not contained within the construct of one religion or another. It is not contained within the construct of one political party or another. It is contained only in the expansive container of love itself. And when we can do that, we will be the repairers of the breach. We will be the ones that will be the healing that we seek. I wanted to share a little bit about one of my favorite places on the planet. And it's one of my favorite places at Unity Village. Unity Village is in Lee Summit, Missouri. It is the headquarters of the Unity movement. And that many of you have seen, let's put the picture up there. This is my favorite place on the grounds of Unity Village. There are beautiful fountains. Water, I'm a water junkie. I love water. It is cleansing, it is purifying, it is uplifting. And in the middle of the fountains in Unity Village is what we call the Bridge of Faith. That is the Bridge of Faith. That bridge was built with one sole purpose, to be the repairer of breaches between religions. To stand as a movement, to stand as a people that says this gap is unacceptable. We belong to each other. We are one in mind and heart and spirit and in truth. And so any bridge or any gap that existed between us, any chasm that exists between us, Unity says we will build a bridge. And this bridge was built in 1951. A time of great turmoil, much like we are in today. A time of great divide between races and prejudice and hate and anger. And Unity says, I will be the bridge. I will be the bridge. And they built this. And it stood for many, many years. The employees at Unity Village were thrilled just because they could walk from one side of the campus to the other without going 100 yards around a fountain. But as the human world and the human mind works, that bridge fell into great disrepair. It was a bit neglected. Not as a symbol of the neglecting of the bridge and the fountains, but a symbol of neglecting of the common purpose, the why of our being, the why they were there. And there began to be a divide in the Unity movement. There was duality in the Unity movement, two factions. One that said they were right and they're wrong, the other that said, no, we're right and they're wrong. And what happened is this great symbol of possibility fell into disrepair, and the fountain went right with it. My first visit to Unity Village was in 2005, when the rededication of this bridge, as you see it in that picture, and these fountains for the first time. I am so honored. After years and years and years of those fountains being shut down, that the water began to flow again. And I was asked, honored, to be the musician, to sit on that bridge. They put a keyboard on that bridge and said, you're the musician for this. They brought me in from California. And what we did for a week before that bridge was dedicated is the two warring factions came together to remember, to build a bridge emotionally, spiritually, so that the physical bridge could then be dedicated and stand strong throughout time. The healing that happened, the humility, the vulnerability, the compassion, the understanding that happened in that healing congress was profound. But not nearly as profound is what happened when that bridge was dedicated and the waters came to life again. This week, we have been building a bridge here with our Baha'i brothers and sisters. We have found each other, and we will never let go. As we stand as the temple of love in the midst of a world that needs us now more than ever. And I want to dedicate the song. I was asked to sing a particular song, It Is Old as the Hills, for that particular event. And I would like to sing that song to you today. And I would like to dedicate it to my Baha'i brothers and sisters for the work that you are doing, for the bridge building that is happening. And as I prepared to sing this song for you, I was reminded as a child, I love water. And as a child, I would find a creek. I would find a stream. And the first thing I would do is, how can I build a bridge from one side to the other? The little boy in me, still to this day, I get near a creek and I start to gather stones. I start to gather mud and pebbles, and sometimes they're bigger than I can carry. And I begin to build a bridge from one side to the other so that I may traverse and cross that stream without falling into the water. And I thought, what a beautiful metaphor. That's what we do in Unity. That's what you do in Baha'i. You're building a bridge to get from one side to the other. Let us not focus on where we are today politically, religiously, but let's focus on where we are going. And grab a stone and begin to build a bridge. And the most beautiful thing as a child, I very, very rarely completed that bridge by myself. Anybody who's ever gone camping where there's a creek, what happens? Is one child starts to grab a stone and starts to build a structure. Every single time, another child will come up and say, can I help? Can I play? Sure. And in those moments, there's no child asking, are you a Baha'i? Are you a Buddhist? Are you a Christian? No, they say, let's build this together. And what's beautiful is sometimes it's somebody clear on the other side of the stream that waves at you and says, I'm going to start over here. And they start to gather stones on the other side. And let's meet in the middle. What's happened here this week is a meeting in the middle. And a bridge has been built. Scripture says that a little child will lead them. And the most beautiful thing, several moments happened on this building of a stream, across the bridge in the stream, was the adults would see the kids doing it. And then pretty soon my father was up to his knees in the water helping build the bridge. My mother was a little more reluctant, but she was in the water as well. And then parents for every child that was in the water began to build a bridge. That's exactly what we do. Sometimes we think in this world, I can't possibly make a difference, I am one person. I can vibrate at love, but it feels so insignificant. I'm not a millionaire, I don't have all the money, I don't have all the friends, I don't have a community. I'm saying if you vibrate at the center, the radiating center of love itself, somebody's going to join you and say, put your arm around my shoulder and let me be a bridge with you. Somebody's going to come up with a boulder twice the size of what you can carry yourself and say, let's carry this together. And let's build this together. And let's make no mistake about it, the gap that we have to traverse as a humanity seems overwhelming. I went to bed, I guess it was Thursday night, going, am I possibly making a difference here? And I wanted to give up. And I wanted to quit because the stream seemed so immense. Which makes it even more important that I come together this weekend. And I joined my Baha'i, my Unity brothers and sisters, and they all brought a stone. And together we are more. Together we will get there. This is the song that I dedicate to all the bridge builders, all the children who are entering the kingdom of heaven. Let the little children lead us. Picture a stream in your mind and allow this song to be a sacred vow that you make to the bridge building that is necessary now more than ever. This is called One God. Millions of stars placed in the sky by one God. Millions on earth lift up their eyes to one God. So many children calling to God by many a different name. One Spirit, loving each the same. Many are the ways all of us pray to one God. Many the paths winding their way to one God. Sisters and brothers, there were no strangers after God's work was done. For your God and my God are one. One Spirit, loving each the same. Many the ways all of us pray to one God. Many the paths winding their way to one God. Sisters and brothers, there were no strangers after God's work was done. For your God and
God are one. Millions of stars, millions on earth, one.
I would like to bring up bridge builders, who I have had the honor of meeting over this weekend, sharing planning sessions over the last several months to the event that happened here all weekend. Some of the most beautiful people that I have ever met on the planet. They are bridge builders, and they are standing on the other side of the river saying, we'll meet in the middle. I've got this. I would like to interview them and have a bit of an interview here to get a little bit of the similarities between Unity and Baha'i and how we are facing the same directions. So I would like to invite my friends Harold and Joel and Baha'i. Please welcome them. So one of the basic tenets of the Baha'i faith is that exactly what the song just said. That's why I chose it. One God, oneness of religions, that we're all facing the same direction, whether we admit it or not, whether we believe it or not, whether we are willing to just live in that energy. There is only one power, one presence, one goodness, one light, one love throughout all creation. And I would love any one of my colleagues here, my friends, to speak about the idea of one God from the Baha'i perspective. They're going to be shy.
Thank you, friends, for allowing us to be among you. And I love the idea of being the bridge builder. My answer to your question from the Baha'i perspective is the song you sang. That is the answer. There is only one God, unknowable essence, creator of all humanity and all that is on earth, who created all of us out of great love for us. We will never know him the same way as a table made by a carpenter will never be able to understand the mind of the carpenter. We are finite and God is infinite.
There's a Baha'i quote that I think kind of sums up the entire weekend, the entire presentation. It says, "There can be no doubt whatever that the peoples of the world of whatever race or religion derive their inspiration from the same heavenly source and are the subjects of one God." And I teach comparative religion classes, and what I try to show people is that the world's religions, namely Hinduism, Buddhism, Zoroastrian, Jewish, Christian, Muslim, and Baha'i, all teach essentially the exact same things. And that from a Baha'i perspective, they're not separate and distinct. They're all interrelated, they're all interconnected, they're all part of the same process. And that's why we don't have any problems joining hands in friendship with the people of the Unity Church. So I think that's all in my comments. But with another Baha'i quote.
Hold the mic close.
Another Baha'i quote that diversity in the human family should be the cause of love and harmony, as it is in music, where many different notes blend together into the making of a perfect chord. We don't have to all be the same, but we are united. I celebrate this weekend. Thank you.
One thing, friends, God is too big to understand. You cannot understand somebody that can invent billions and billions of planets throughout this universe. He's outside of the universe.
And the only way we know about God is because someone told us there's a God. And that has come from his message. Whether it was Moses, Jesus, Buddha, Muhammad, Baha'u'llah, Abraham, we know about God because someone said there's a God. And has told us how to worship him. God is too big to understand. And he wants us to understand him through his messengers only. He doesn't speak to us directly, we don't think. But his messengers speak for him to us through his words. Moses, the 10 Commandments. Jesus, love one another as I have loved you also. Pray for those who misuse you. Turn the other cheek. Feed the hungry. Heal the sick. That's how God speaks to us, through his messengers. So God is beyond anything we could ever understand. The closest we can get is through Jesus, who said, it is not my work, but it is the works of the Father who sent me to you to do his works.
One of the most beautiful things that came up in our discussion over the weekend, the Baha'i writings have male pronouns, as does Charles Fillmore in his writings, for the essence of God. And it was so beautiful to me to say that, to remember the truth, that in the Persian language, in the translation, it became male dominant when it came to this culture, when it came to be translated into English. Can any of you speak about, just briefly, about the word that is not male or female, the unknowable, as you said? It is beyond any human construct of male and female. Anybody care to?
Yeah, the language in Farsi, which is the language that Baha'u'llah wrote, in Arabic, there is no he or she. You are referred to as u, which implies he or she, because the soul does not have gender. The soul does not have color. The spirit cannot be identified with form and shape. It is infinite, it is manifestation of beauty, but it's not to be described with one thing. For example, when you think of white light, it is combination of many colors. But when all those colors merge together, we will have this great white light of heaven. So,
tell me the word again. The word is? So how would it be if we were to greet each other as brothers and sisters facing the same direction in the life, rather than recognizing you as a man or a woman, to just go, ooh. Ooh. Joel, did you want to say something?
There are many Baha'i principles. The two major ones that we focus on the most are the elimination of racism and the promotion of the oneness of humanity. And in the Baha'i writings, it clearly says that men and women are equal. There's no distinction. So the Baha'i quote is, women and men have been and will always be equal in the sight of God. And another quote says, when all mankind shall receive the same opportunity of education and the equality of men and women be realized, the foundations of war will be utterly destroyed.
We spoke very much in depth yesterday, and I was profoundly moved by the discourse of the divine feminine needing to rise to power right now. That for too long, and I actually stood before my brothers and sisters and apologized on behalf of all men who have subjugated that feminine energy, not only on the planet, but within their own self. And it was fun to dialogue about the rising and the coming of feminine power that is in our culture right now. It is needed. It is good. It is holy. And I, as a male, welcome it in myself and on the planet.
there is a passage from Baha'u'llah that I always enjoy tremendously. And he said, humanity is like a bird, which has two wings. One is male, one is female. Unless both wings are strong enough, the bird of humanity cannot soar to its highest destiny. So it It is not just the responsibility of women to develop themselves, or men, but these two wings are complementary, and each has to strive to balance the power of each so that the bird of humanity can soar.
I think the challenge that we have as human beings is if we believe that this God created this planet and all of us in it, male and female, God had a purpose for that. So the question should be, what is the purpose God created male and female? And it was never to be one over the other, to be the balance, the wings of each other. Well, how I say in the next world of God, there is no male and female. We're spirits anyway. The physical body is particularly here to develop the spirit. So when the body dies, the soul goes on to the next world of God, and there is no gender. Gender is for a purpose here, to create, to procreate, to build this bridge of love and unity of harmony. So as we pass through this plane of existence, we are prepared for the next level. The next level is the spirit that goes forth, the soul that goes forth, and the body stays here. So the question again is, why did God create male and female? Not that there's a problem. God didn't create the problem. We created the problem by making these distinctions and differences. But we're together to be one with each other. That's the purpose.
So one of the things that we talked about in our final time of moments together is we ended our time last night with the understanding that Baha'ism is a blueprint for peace on earth. We as bridge builders standing on either side, either shore, maybe on the same shore, wanting to meet in the middle, the eventual goal is peace on earth. We sing here at Unity many, many Sundays, let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. I would love for you all to comment in your final moments here about the Baha'i plan for peace on earth. The blueprint. In 30 seconds or less.
For my 10 seconds, Baha'is across the globe, in 100,000 localities today in the world, there are small Baha'i communities committed to the building of peace as unity people are in this space. What I heard in the last 2 days, and I marked my sheet of unity principles. Everything I underlined saying I agree 100% with everything I heard. But it's hopeful to know that Baha'is in 100,000 localities in the world today, in Japan, in Papua New Guinea, in Nepal, in Amazon, they are getting together, collecting rocks, collecting sands, engage in process of bridge building for all of humanity. Everyone is welcome. Everyone is loved.
In the good book it said, in that day, they will beat their plowshares into pruning hooks and study war no more. No more. That day is not here yet. In the Baha'i writings it says, no power can exist except through unity, which is what we're doing today, bringing the difference together and forming a unity. No welfare and no well-being can be attained except through consultation. The future and salvation of this planet will be when we come together with our differences and learn how to consult with each other. That will be the salvation of humanity. That's it.
In the Baha'i writings, it says that change, spiritual transformation, is conditioned upon 3 things: knowledge, volition, and action. We have to know what we want to do, we have to have the will to do it, and then we have to do it. So hopefully we can proceed this weekend from here and continue to build bridges.
One of the things that emerged from our time together, and Julie Vonnegut has been driving this, and it's going to happen, is if talk is cheap. We've said that a number of times over the weekend. And there's a commitment that these 2 communities of people that have come together are going to do a service project to take the love outside of our walls, outside of what's going on here. This is unity and God. Get the body with the 100%. What is These are fine people, and this is only the tip of the iceberg of the wealth here and the love that is here. And ask you to put your hands or arms around each other's shoulders. And let me go into our meditation. April, please come forward. And your ancient ruins shall be rebuilt. And you shall raise up the foundations of many generations. And you shall be called repairers of the breach. I invite you to, during this meditation, if you are so led, let it be a meditation experience together. Somebody you don't know maybe next to you, reach out and hold your hand for a moment and give a squeeze and says, I've got my stone, do you have yours? I'll meet you in the middle. Let's take these ideas into a time of stillness, of quiet, and meditation.
We'll be singing the song, There Is No You, There Is No Me. There's only God that I can see. And feel free to join us. There is no you, there is no me, there's only God that I can see. There is no you, there is no me, there's only God that I can see. There is no ox, there is no lamb, there's only God. Amen.
Please join hands.
There is no ox, there is no lamb, there's only God.
Let's do that one more time.
There is no you, there is no me, there's only God that I can see. There is no you, there is no me, there's only God that I can see. There is no ox, there is no lamb, there's only God. Amen. There is no ox, there is no lamb, there's only God. I invite you to give the hand of your neighbor one more squeeze. And then bring your hands back to your own space. And to please sit quietly, tall and well, with your feet grounded on the floor. And just hear all the sounds and stimulus in the room, rustling of paper, bodies settling. And we have a sense that we withdraw our attention from the outside and let it creep inward into our own space. Feel your body relaxing and held by the chair. Let the chair give you this gift. Let go into it, a little deeper into your own self. Become aware of your breathing. You don't have to breathe differently, but just bring attention, mindfulness to the breath. As you attend to it, it will inherently slow and deepen. Then bring your awareness into your heart, right into the center of your chest.
the indwelling space of the aforementioned light of the world. Focus into that space as you continue to hold your body in stillness, as we incorporate the spirit of oneness in all religions with the Buddhist practice of loving kindness. Visualize in the center of your chest, in your heart, to the best of your ability, a bridge. And the bridge can take on any form: stone, light, rope, rainbow, whatever comes forth effortlessly. See this bridge emanating from the center of your being and reaching outward to someone you love. Someone you know well, someone you have no quarrel with, who may be alive or perhaps they've left this earthly plane. And to this person from your heart, through and across the bridge to theirs, say silently, internally, may you be well. May you be safe. May you be peaceful and at ease. And just feel that connection like an umbilicus from your heart to theirs, that love flowing in both directions across the bridge. Then continuing to visualize from your heart another bridge. Again, whatever form arises for you. Without losing sight of the first, we extend another tendril outward. This to someone you don't know so well. You don't even have to know their name. Maybe it's someone who you hugged or shook their hand or saw across the room today. A neighbor, the person who makes your coffee, the grocery clerk. But pick someone and send that love telescopically from your heart to theirs, with the affirmation again silently. May you be well. May you be safe. May you be peaceful and at ease. And just feel what happens to you when you become the bridge. The bridges are infinite, like asters from a star. Extend another one out, this time to someone you have a quarrel with, someone you have friction with. Dare I say, even someone you consider to be the other or an enemy. And again, from that infinite source of love, say to them in all earnesty, may you be well. May you be safe. May you be peaceful and at ease. And maybe it's a little painful. Say it again. You have to stretch like a flower to the sun. May you be well. May you be safe. May you be peaceful and at ease. Visualizing these bridges projecting outward infinitely into the animal kingdom, to the plants, to the whole world, and back to yourself. Right into your own heart, peering inward. Say to yourself, to your face, as it is right now, not how you wish it would be or how it was. May I be well. May I be safe. May I be peaceful and at ease. And then remain in that space. In that space. Forgive yourself of anything holding you back. Repair the breach. And remain in the silence.
Remain aware of that silence where you feel the unknowable essence. Reflect on the relative quietness of your mind. Be aware of the smoothness of your breath and the stillness back with you. Bring back the loving kindness as you gently open your eyes.
Thank you. The unknowable essence will be known by the attributes of the unknowable essence. Love. We will know that there is a God by the love that we share, the peace that we create. And before I turn the platform over to our Executive Director, Diane Glenn, I want to just give you a brief loaves and fishes story that happened as a result of the work that has been done here today. Monday night, we have been hosting the Foster Parent Association of Cobb County. Hundreds and hundreds of foster parents and their children who are going through a difficult time. And the person who was supposed to provide food Monday evening had to step aside. And Hope Notice, who coordinates these efforts, was scrambling to fill the void. During our weekend, our Baha'i brothers and sisters provided us a banquet far more than needed to feed the 100 or 200 people that were here. So there was loaves and fishes in our refrigerator, and when Hope came in today, and she opened up the refrigerator, God was made visible and known for the generosity of our brothers and sisters from the Baha'i tradition. I thank those who made that food for the gift that you have brought. Children are going to eat tomorrow without stress, without anxiety, because it happens, folks. This isn't just theology, it isn't just theory, it happens. Don't waste the time in here by going out and just being the same person you were when you came in here today. Go grab a stone and build a bridge. I'd like to invite Diane Glenn to come up and to get us a couple announcements and our offering.
Thank you everyone, and thank you to our Baha'i family for the energy and the love that you have brought into our community. I've heard nothing but wonderful things about this weekend, so thank you. Before the ushers come forward, I just have a couple of things. One of them is I want to tell you about a couple of things that are going on. First one is Richard is teaching a prosperity class called Absolute Abundance, and it starts on Tuesday.
Jenny Scott and I are doing that together.
Scott, yeah, they're doing it together. And it is one of the things that we teach here at Unity is that we are abundant beings, always and forever. And Richard's class, if you've never taken a class with Richard and Jenny, I highly recommend it. I'm taking the SCE classes with Jenny. They are incredible teachers, a lot of fun, and a lot of great information. So if you haven't signed up yet, I highly encourage you to do so. The other program that we're starting, which is really in line with that, and it's one of the things that our finance committee just talked about, typically in the spring, or actually late spring into summer, we have a program that we call Unexpected Income. And what that is all about is that we believe, as we all know, that it is God's wonderful pleasure to give us His kingdom, and how do we do that? We have to activate that. We know that that is the truth of our being, and we take steps to activate that, and miraculous things happen. Several years ago when I did this program, I suddenly came into a $500 inheritance that I didn't even know I was on somebody's list for. It happens all the time. And when we've done these programs in the past, people get really excited about it. Lots of things. They start to think about, how can I make this happen in my life? And one of the things that we have going on now that I don't know that everybody knows about is that we have a Unity North online yard sale. So go to Facebook, put in UNA online yard sale, and sell some stuff. You know, and that one of the things that we ask is all you need to do is keep 90% of what you earn on that, and offer 10% of that to Unity North. Just one way of doing it. In your bulletins today, you received a yellow form, a yellow piece of paper. On there is prayer. And I ask that each of you take this to prayer. Bring it to prayer and think about it. What we do in return, once you fill out the form and put it in the basket, we take it back to our office. We place them in a box on our boardroom table. In every staff meeting, which is every week, every board meeting, every prayer chapel meeting, we hold sacred space for you. We hold the belief that God is working in and through you, God is working in and through us. So think about that for a while. I just have a couple of other real quick announcements. If you have any questions about the program, please see one of us, one of our staff members, or board members. We would be happy to share more information about it. But there are a couple of other quick things. I want to bring up right now, right this second, Judith Johnson. And Judith Johnson is head of our Family Promise program. We are honored to be a part of the Family Promise program, which is 4 times a year here at Unity North. We bring in families that are homeless. We believe that families should stay together no matter what, and we will do whatever we can to help them do that. And Judith is heading that program for Unity North.
Thank you. It was amazing that Araj read this morning about one of the tenets of religion is to act as a home to strangers, and that is really literally what we do 4 times a year. The face of homelessness has really changed in the last 10 or 12 years to really include a lot more families. And as Diane said, we want to keep those families together, so we host them here and provide activities and things for them. Situations like the teacher who lost her job because after she had a baby, she had medical complications and could not go back to work immediately. Or the couple that retired from the military and did not get their retirement in a timely manner. Or the over-the-road truck driver with 4 kids who was injured and could not work. So these are the people that we have helped here at Unity. And a lot of you have participated as volunteers, and I'd like to recognize you at this time. Please stand quickly, because I know Diane's got her stopwatch going. If you have been a volunteer coordinator now or in the past, please stand. If you have driven the van, if you have been a setup volunteer, please stand and stay standing. Or a takedown volunteer, or if you've been a shopper, or if you have come and cooked a meal, brought a meal for breakfast or for dinner, please stand. If you have been an activity host and done activities with the kids, please stand. If you have been a laundry angel and done sheets and towels when the families have left, please stand. If you have been a sleepover host and hosted families overnight, please stand. If you have donated linens or furniture or any kind of items or money, please stand. If you have just sent good wishes to us for Family Promise, please stand. And those of you who clean the area for us in the admin building, or order supplies, or take care of the finances, or make welcome signs, or just move out of your space so we can move into it, please stand. And anyone who feels like that they would like to participate, let's give these folks a big hand. One of the things I really love about Unity is that we go outside of this space to support our neighbors. And one of the things that the people who come here and stay with us really love is that we see their shining star and not just their homelessness. If you would like to be part of this or get more information, we have a table set up in the lobby. You can get your name in the database, and as it happens, the Baha'i community is our support congregation already. So if you are here and would like to get into that database, please sign up in the lobby. We send an email to you a month before, so if there's anything you'd like to volunteer for, you have an opportunity if it fits your schedule. We say here at Unity, we belong to each other. And we don't just talk about the people in this room, we talk about everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Judy. Wes, if we could just go to the offering prayer. There are a couple of other things that are going on around the community right now. One of them is our SEE, which are spiritual education classes. Please go online and find out about that. And also Dale Allen Hoffman is going to be coming back to New York in just a couple of weeks. So go online and find out more information.
Next Sunday. It'll be your next Sunday.
Next Sunday. Time flies. By the way, this is our members of our NGU group that are ushering today. So we're grateful. as you begin to prepare your offering for this wonderful community, place it over your heart. Give thanks for the work that we do. Give thanks for the opportunities that we have to bring people like our Baha'i family into our community. Things like Family Promise that are going on. We could not do that, could not do any of it without the gifts that you give our community. So please join me if you can in our offering blessing.
I am so blessed. I am so prosperous. And it is my great pleasure to share of my prosperity and to share of my blessings. And in the giving, the entire world is blessed. Thank you, God.
And as the baskets come around, we affirm that offering through our offering song. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. Together.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
And I know we ran over a little bit, so we're going to get right to our final song. As the baskets come around, please give your attention and warm welcome again to David and Victoria.
We are the one, we are the same person. I'll be you, you be me. We all are one, same universal world. We all are one, we are the same person. I'll be you, you be me. We all are one, same universal world. Now, no matter where we are born, we're all human beings. The same chemistry with emotions and feelings, all corresponding in love. Compatible, can't get around it no matter how hard you try. You better believe it. And if you should find out that you are no different than I, we all are one, we are the same person. I'll be you, you be me. We all are one, the same universal world. We all are one, we are the same person. I'll be you, you be me. We all are one, the same universal world. Now the only difference I can see is in the conscience. The shade of the skin doesn't matter. We laugh, we chatter, we smile. We all the love and the feelings that make all those faces always renew. So true, and would you believe that I have all the same feelings too? The same as you. We all are one, we all are the same person. I'll be you, you be me. We all are one, the same universal world. The same universal world. We all are one, we are the same person. I'll be you, you be me. We all are one, same universal world. Now look at the children, they're having fun with no regards to why. They all are different, but deep inside, the feelings of love they won't hide. They won't hide. No, they won't hide. Ooh.
Baha'i Unity Sunday, but just come back and share that.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Up on our feet, everybody. We're going to know that the offerings and the prayers are already blessed, right? Thank you for the flexibility of our chaplain corps. Let's reach across that aisle. Put your hands around each other's shoulders. And we thought it would be really good, this old country favorite. I think it was written by a Baha'i at some point, I don't know. Love, I don't know if George Brooks is a Baha'i or not, but love can build a bridge between your heart and mine. Let us sing together. Love can build a bridge between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? Let's raise those arms. Love can build a bridge between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? And proclaiming it's National Hug a Baha'i Day. Punch somebody you don't know and give them a squeeze. Thank you so much for being here today. We love and appreciate each and every one of you. There are lots of Baha'i books on the tables in the back. Take a look at them and make a small donation. All the proceeds come to Unity, but they've been very generous with us. Please take a look at those books and carry the wealth with you out into the world.